What if you were born to be wealthy? What if I told you that mastering money isn't about how much you make, but about how much you understand its laws? I didn't grow up with money. In fact, I knew more about late rent notices than bank balances. But one day I asked myself a question that changed everything. What separates the rich from the rest of us? Was it just luck? Family inheritance? Smarts? No, it was mindset, discipline, and above all, understanding the laws of money. I've spent years studying millionaires, reading every book I could find. From Think and Grow Rich, by Napoleon Hill, to Rich Dad Poor Dad, by Robert Kiyosaki. I've watched how the wealthy talk, move, invest, and make decisions. And I noticed something critical. They all obey the same fundamental principles, the laws of money. So I began applying them, even when I was broke, even when I was scared, even when no one believed I could make it. Now, I'm not just surviving, I'm thriving. This guide isn't about theory. It's about practice. Real, raw, sometimes uncomfortable truths about what it takes to master wealth. I'll share the strategies I used, the failures I endured, and the wins I celebrated. I'll ask you the same tough questions I asked myself. And I'll challenge you to think differently, because if you want a different life, you have to start thinking in a different way. Are you ready? Let's dive into the law of money. The first law: money flows to clarity. Do you know exactly how much money you need to be financially free? Not a guess, not a wish, but an actual number. Most people don't. They say, I want to be rich. But what does that mean? $1 million, 10 million, enough to never work again. Clarity is power. When I finally sat down and calculated how much I needed to cover my living expenses, fund my dreams, and give generously, the number shocked me. It wasn't as high as I thought. And for the first time in my life, I had a target. Real wealth begins when you define it. Take Sarah, a teacher I met at a seminar. She made $40,000 a year and felt trapped. But once she got clear on her goal, owning a small house debt-free and traveling twice a year, she mapped a simple plan. She started tutoring on the side, cut her expenses by 20%, and in 4 years, she owned her home outright. What changed? She obeyed the first law. She got clear. Consider Oprah Winfrey. She grew up in poverty and abuse, but she had a crystal clear vision from a young age, to become a media influencer and build a platform to inspire others. That clarity became her compass, leading her to become a billionaire. Ask yourself, what does wealth mean to me? Until you answer that, money will always slip through your fingers. The second law: money grows where it's respected. How do you treat your money? When I was broke, I used to treat money like a stranger, something that visited briefly and left quickly. I didn't track it. I didn't value it. I just wanted more of it. But money is like any relationship. If you disrespect it, it won't stick around. Start paying attention to every dollar. Know where it goes. Assign it a job. I once met a man who earned $200,000 a year and was still living paycheck to paycheck. Why? He had no respect for money. He had no budget, no investments, and no plan. Compare that to Lisa, a single mom earning $35,000. She budgeted every penny, saved diligently, and by age 40, she had 2 rental properties. That's not magic. That's respect. Look at Warren Buffett. Even as one of the world's richest men, he lives in the same house he bought in 1958, drives modest cars, and avoids extravagance. He respects money by investing wisely, living below his means, and treating every dollar like it matters. That's why money continues to grow under his watch. Ask yourself, if I treated money like a friend, would it want to stay with me? The third law: money moves to value. Do you get paid based on how much time you give, or how much value you create? Here's the hard truth. The market doesn't care about your time. It rewards value. I used to trade hours for dollars, working overtime, hoping for a raise. But then I learned the law of value. I started asking, how can I solve bigger problems? That's when everything shifted. Look at Elon Musk. He creates massive value by solving global problems: transportation, energy, space exploration. That's why money flows to him. You don't have to be a billionaire to apply this law. Think of the plumber who charges $150 for a 10-minute fix. He's not paid for time. He's paid for expertise. Think of Jeff Bezos, who took a simple idea, selling books online, and turned it into Amazon, a company that created massive value by solving the problem of convenience and accessibility. The result: one of the largest personal fortunes in history. Want more money? Create more value. Ask yourself, what problem do I solve? And how can I solve it better than anyone else? The fourth law: money follows attention. What do you focus on daily? Lack or abundance? Problems or possibilities? Where your attention goes, energy flows, and money follows. I used to obsess over my debts. That only created more stress. But when I shifted my focus to opportunities, new skills, side hustles, partnerships, my income grew. Take Alex, a mechanic who spent evenings watching YouTube tutorials on investing. He started small, investing $50 a month. 5 years later, he owns a 6-figure portfolio. He didn't win the lottery. He shifted his focus. Another example: Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx. While working as a fax machine salesperson, she paid close attention to women's fashion discomfort. That attention led to her creating a billion-dollar brand, because she focused on a specific, unsolved problem. Ask yourself, am I paying more attention to excuses or solutions? The fifth law: money rewards the bold. Are you waiting for the perfect moment to take action? The perfect time doesn't exist. Boldness does. I remember my first investment: $500 in a friend's startup. I was terrified. That business failed, and I lost my money. But the lesson I gained was priceless. Wealthy people don't fear risk, they manage it. Later, I invested in a real estate deal after doing my homework. It paid off 10 times. Boldness backed by wisdom is a winning formula. You don't need to be reckless. But you do need to take calculated risks. Think of Richard Branson. He launched Virgin Airlines without experience in aviation, mortgaging his record label to fund it. It was a bold, calculated risk, and it paid off massively. Ask yourself, what am I afraid to do that could change everything? Master the laws, master your life. Wealth isn't luck. It's not magic. It's not a secret reserved for the elite. It's a science, and the laws are clear. 1. Money flows to clarity. 2. Money grows where it's respected. 3. Money moves to value. 4. Money follows attention. 5. Money rewards the bold. I'm not special. I simply chose to study and apply the laws. If I can do it, so can you. Ask yourself this final question: will I master money, or let money master me? The choice is yours. Now go. Internalize these laws. Live them. And unlock the wealth that was waiting for you all along.